Today, we're going to be looking at the new property trend taking over Cape Town, right? So basically, we'll be analyzing if you want to invest in Cape Town, if you want to buy property, where to buy and what to look for. So it will help you, either investor as well as people that are willing to step foot in the property market in Cape Town. But before we even go and dive into the topic for today, there are two names that I want us to look at, define, and explain. The first one, it's called sectional title. So a sectional title is a form of property ownership where individual owns a specific section or portion of a large property or a development along with a share in the common property, right? So for example, if you go and buy an apartment or a flat in one of the developers, it could be your Balloon Properties or your Galencia Properties. And then if you make a purchase of one unit or one apartment, then you own a sectional title for that unit that you have purchased, right? And then most of those developers, they will have your pool, your play cards, and other. So you're also going to share in those amenities that are additionally in that development, right? So basically, you're not owning everything, you're owning a section that you would have purchased. And then the second part, it's your freehold ownership, right? So a freehold ownership is different to your sectional title in a way that you are buying the entire property that you are purchasing. I'll make an example. If you go and see a house that you like in Waterfront and you say, this property, I actually like it, and then I want to put an offer to purchase. If the purchase is now concluded on that sale, then you are owning the entire building plus the land that will be part of that sale. So that's the difference. The first one, you're owning a section, while the other one, you're owning the entire building, right? Now that we know the two, which will be important in this topic for today, let us dive into what is happening in Cape Town. So more than 50% of the properties sold in Cape Town are now sectional titling. So we've explained what is sectional title, and now you have a better understanding of what is that. And that is driven by obviously the fact that there are soaring prices, property prices in Cape Town, and we all know that Cape Town is the most expensive city, right? Now, when we make comparison between the two big cities in South Africa, which is Johannesburg as well as Cape Town is outperforming Johannesburg. And let's just look at the data that we have available for 2 years. If we look at the data that we have for 2024 as well as 2021, property sale in Cape Town was sitting as 81 billion, right? And it was up from 2021, which was 74 billion, right? And then when we compare with Johannesburg was just over 47 billion. That is 37 billion less than the sale in Cape Town, which is a lot in terms of the sale value. Then if we're looking at 2021 to look at the performance, in Johannesburg, we had 59 billion, which is 15 billion less, right? Meaning to say now it's Cape Town is doing way better by 15 billion in 2021 and also is doing way better by 34 billion in 2024. If we see in 2024, we are doubling what was happening in 2021, right? So that proves that buying a property in Cape Town, it's still an excellent investment that you can take, right? And then when you move down, 40% of the sectional title purchase are the first time buyers, right? So first time buyers are people that are buying for the first time. They are just stepping foot in the property market. And then if we look at where are the good places to make purchase for your property, in Cape Town, it is mainly in your southern suburbs, right? And the reason that southern suburbs, it's the main or it's a good place to make purchase for your investment property or the property that you want to stay in, it's because of the number of things. Amongst other, it's your good schools, your good university, a lot of commercial properties, and also it provides you an excellent lifestyle, right? We all know that UCT in southern suburbs, which is the good school, a good university rather, and then a lot of big companies that are also in the southern suburbs. And then excellent lifestyle. We're looking at the fact that you're gonna have your mountain view, your ocean view, to name a few, right? And then if you want to get into the property market in southern suburbs, but you don't have like good cash, or you know that you're not going to be approved for a good credit balance, there are places that you can go for, which can be Observatory, your Sword River, Claremont, Wineback, and Wineback Upper, it's your Rondebosch, and the Plumstead. Those are the places in southern suburbs that you can try to step on your foot in the property markets in southern suburbs. And then when you're looking at the property prices in southern suburbs, they ranges around 2.250 million, while in most other places you're looking at buying between 800 and 1.3 million, right? Then let's just look at the property investors in Cape Town news in terms of sectional title. So there's a strong demand in sectional title properties for investment buyers, also for people that are not investment buyers. That means you are buying to stay, right? So then, what are the things that you need to look at when you're buying? So then, people are buying for extra properties for a number of reasons. Is either they are buying it because now their kids are going to university, they are buying it to rent it out, or they want to diversify their income. So in the cases where you're buying for a kid to attend university, it's because now your kid is over 18, and instead of paying a rent for your kid, you rather buy a property for your kid to stay in. And then as for third party, that means you want to get your rental income, and that means you are also diversifying your income, because now you're going to be having just more than your income from salary, but you're going to have income also from rental income. So what we need to look for as well when it's come to investment or property investment, that specific wish list that people are looking for when it's come to the investment, right? Or when it's come to they deciding to rent in a particular property if you are a investor. So a number of things they look at, amongst other, it's the secure parking. They are looking for places where if they leave their car at night, they're able to get it in the morning, and they're not afraid that their car can be stolen while they are away or while they're sleeping. And then above ground floor. So most people, they don't like ground floor, mainly because they have that mentality that if the area has snakes, they're running a risk of having snakes getting into their houses. And then if the area has thieves, they are running a risk of thieves starting in their own apartments before they even go to the next apartments. And then the other things, it's two-bedroom unit. Most people want to either rent or invest. The thing that they have to look for is that they go for two-bedroom unit, mainly because people like to have additional room either for their kids or for the visitors if they don't have kids. And then the number of amenities that you need to look for, it's like your private school. We've seen that the generation is moving to taking kids to the private school as opposed to the public school because of the quality differences between the two. So those are kind of things as an investor or a person that is buying a property you need to be looking out for. And then the other things people that are looking for, which is now a strong trend, is that the property or the investment where you're buying a property, it is pet friendly. That means Body Corporate approves that a person can have a dog or can have a cat, whatever you may think of, right? So while everyone is optimistic when it comes to buying a house, it is important to take into account that when you are buying a property, it's not only the cost of buying a property or your monthly bond that you have to take into account, but there are costs initially that you're going to have to incur as a result of you making a decision that you want to go ahead and purchase a property. Let us look at some of the things that you have to look for given the property price at 2,250,000 rand. So your bond cost will be around 52,603, and then you need to pay a transfer cost. The transfer cost you only pay if you are buying a second hand property. That means you are buying a property from Sihle who previously owned that property. If you're not buying a property from Sihle, then you're going to be buying from the developer. You do not have to worry about the transfer cost. That means you're going to be saving 97,634 should you opt to buy from the developer. So those are the advantages of choosing to go buy with Balloon Properties or Kalenji Properties and other property developers. And then the moving cost, obviously, if you are staying in other area and you're moving to this new property, we're looking at 10,000 plus. That is an estimate depending that how far you are from your old place to the new place. It can be more, it can be less, so depending on the number of factors. Then you need to pay deposit for utilities. So you normally need to pay that deposit for the connection of water and electricity. It is estimated to be 2,000. It can be more depending on if you're buying from developer, what is the cost the developer pay for the connection, right? And then the other thing will be your fiber or your Wi-Fi installation. We're looking at 1.5 to 5,000 plus monthly cost. And then there will be homeowner insurance. If you are buying a free hold house, that means you're going to be paying insurance around 5,000 to 2,500, depending on the quote that you received from the insurer. In most cases, if you are buying a sectional title, you're not going to be paying the insurance because it's normally included in the levies. And then because you are moving your kids to the new places, now you're going to be paying for your registration as well as your uniform. So, which are also the things that you have to take into account or factor when it comes to moving to this new house from your old house. So pretty much when we're looking at this upfront cost, you're looking at 200 to 250 that you need to plan upfront for you to move to the new place. And there is obviously the other things that you have to consider is that if you're buying a sectional title, you will need to pay monthly levies, right? So monthly levies, they cover your maintenance of the house as well as the security of that complex or estate you are staying on. And that obviously vary depending on the number of factors. And some of the factors are that if you have amenities like your pools and your gym, you're most likely to be paying more on levies than any other areas which does not have the pools and the gym. Thank you so much for listening up until here. If you like my topic or the topics of similar nature, can you please like my YouTube channel as well as my TikTok? I really appreciate also if you can follow me. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.